that we are realistic about where countries are. It's also important for us to say two things. Even as we push all buttons to make sure that we have green growth and industrialization and manufacturing, we must also be cognizant of where we are at the moment in terms of development relative to where others are, and how they got where they got using the wrong sources of fuel. And should we repeat the mistake without the rest of the world keeping their promise is the only option left. So the rest of the world must live up to the commitments, whether it is the SDRs, whether it is the loss and damage, whether it is what was committed in Paris. These are commitments that must be kept, number one. Number two, we must also invest in green energy. Today, only 1% of resources invested in green energy is invested in Africa. So it needs to be scaled up, in our estimate, to 10% by 2028 and to 40% by 2050. It is the only way we are going to decarbonize global growth. So these are very important aspects as we discuss the carbon transition. And to agree with my brother that migration is fueled heavily by effects of climate change. They cause instability, they cause conflict, they cause poverty, making people move from where they are. We need greater resilience. We need to fund. We need to make sure that countries have the resources to stabilize, to fund resilience. And that is why financing becomes a very big component of the conversation. And when we talk about financing, we're not talking just about loans, as my brother has said. And especially if we are getting loans 5 times more expensively than others. And that's why the conversation around financing is very important. And that's why I'm very happy that this summit of young people is saying, let's have a conversation about a green bank, where new ideas, new concepts, new shareholders will have a conversation.